don't have to clean your room when you're on vacation.
Most of all, I'm scared of walking out of this room and never feeling the rest of my whole life the way I feel when I'm with you.
Did you ever have a banana seat on your bike growing up?
No, I didn't believe in them. I didn't know they were a thing.
Wait, you didn't believe in them, or you didn't know?
Both, I think.
Like, were they a unicorn to you? And so,
I didn't know there was like different seats, you know?
would you have like a mountain bike?
Yeah, mountain bike.
Mountain bikes?
Yeah, I ride around my neighborhood.
Okay.
It's cool.
Alright, well, I think looks pretty good. You and your quiet ass voice, so I'm gonna step away a little bit, but that's good. What's up, dude?
What's up? Is this it? We're going?
Yeah, we're going.
All right.
We're going, dude.
Nice.
My guest today is Gary Sheriff.
Hello.
Local comedian, friend, and sometimes escort.
Yes.
Welcome to my dirty ass bedroom.
Hello, baby.
How you doing, baby? I knew that was gonna come up.
Yeah.
I knew it was gonna come up. The first time I said that to you, you were so offended.
I was.
You were so, and then you warmed up to it.
No, I think you're the baby, you know?
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, we established that.
Yeah. With me spilling whiskey all over myself right off the bat here. It's good though.
Is that what the show is called? My Dirty Ass Bedroom?
My dirty bedroom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It fits.
Yeah. I love when people come on and don't know the name of the show.
Yeah, that's
like, I'll just show up, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I did. I probably should have listened to an episode, you know?
You didn't listen to any of them?
No, I heard about them.
Okay.
I heard about them.
Well, that's even better.
Yeah. It was like in...
It's in the zeitgeist.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll figure it out.
So, are we not allowed to talk about the bachelor party?
Probably not get into details about that.
I mean, we can keep the names out of it.
Well, yeah.
That sounds fun, though.
It was fun.
And it was your birthday, too.
It was my birthday.
So happy birthday.
Thanks.
I didn't say anything on Facebook because I knew I was going to say it to you in real life, and I didn't want to say it twice because that's just weird.
Well, yeah. But then you missed it by a day.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the same fucking thing, right?
Yeah, that's whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
I was born at 11:35 p.m., so...
Really?
So it's basically, like, the 24th anyway.
I'm
still within 24 hours.
I wonder, like, do they count you being born as, like, when you're fully out of the body?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think when you, like take a breath, it's not inside your
when you
mouth, you know?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
But if you're coming out head first, you would take a breath before your feet are out.
Well, yeah.
So when do they count?
I feel like once your head's out, you squeeze out, though, right? Because, like, your body is, like, that's the hardest part.
Clearly I know nothing.
No, I don't know anything either.
I wasn't have a kid.
But I wasn't there at the birth. Remember?
Oh, man.
Yeah, I wasn't at the birth, so.
Okay, well.
So, but I assume once the head comes out, the body just, just falls out.
Kind of just falls.
Yeah, it's probably. If it's head first, I don't know.
Man, all right.
I can only imagine.
Well, so yeah, did you have a good birthday? Good bachelor party? It wasn't your bachelor party.
No,
it was another friend of yours.
Yeah. It was another friend. He's getting married in, I should know, May, maybe?
Are you like a best man, clearly?
No, I'm not in the wedding. I'm going to the wedding.
Okay, but you're not. But that's the best part. That's the best wedding.
Yeah. Just to be at the wedding
and not have to deal with any of the.
Don't have to be rehearsal or
tuxedo. Go to the mall at the same time.
Yeah.
No, that stuff sucks.
That does suck. Yeah.
I hate that.
And then,
did you guys have a shuttle and stuff, or was it
shuttle for what?
Like the bachelor party?
No, I drove. I didn't really drink that much. So
it was your birthday and they made you drive?
I couldn't. No. I showed up later because I have a twin sister, so we had dinner at my parents beforehand. Had lasagna. And then
how was it?
It was good.
Hell yeah.
My mom's 100% Italian, so it's good. It's good lasagna.
And she did a 23andMe, just 100%.
I don't know if she did 20. I think she did. But I know my whole mom's side's Italian, so I think it's probably like not 100% now that she's in the 23andMe, but I'm still sticking with it.
It's close enough.
Yeah.
More Italian than me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
clearly, like 0.02 Italian.
Yeah. That's a very specific amount. Did you do 23andMe?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm just going off what my mom told me. It's across the board. It's all over the place.
Yeah. Scandinavian.
Yep.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, Swedish.
Oh, I got that right on the-
50% Swedish and
Okay.
then 50% random bullshit French.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Sure. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Scandinavian. How'd you call that one out?
I don't know. It just felt right.
Was it? Is it my blue eyes or my smug?
I didn't even see your
Which
blue
one
eyes.
is
Now
it?
I do. Yeah.
They're kind of gray at this
It's
age.
hard.
but-
Yeah, it's hard to tell with glasses. You know, it's hard to like. I wasn't like zeroing in on your eyes either.
No, now we are.
Now we are.
This is
Now
kinda
I.
really-
Yeah. Now is the thing.
Jesus Christ. All right. Well, let's get a little fucking focus here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I guess one of my first questions I like to ask people is, what's the origin story? How long you been doing comedy?
Comedy. Maybe 7 years.
Okay.
7 years. Something like that.
Were you around like the Xenos days? And
Yeah. Well, Xenos was only a couple years ago. When we first started, it was a couple of us, like Dan Loper and Garrett Snipes, were at Scarlet and Gray Cafe, OSU campus. Mark
ran it?
Lucas
Yeah,
hosted.
yeah.
Yeah. So my first ever set, Mark Lucas was the host. I did 10 minutes, and it was 5 minutes too long. Probably 10 minutes too long.
like, did he not give you the light, or he gave you the light?
I don't know. I have it on tape, but I don't think I got the light, or I didn't know what the light was, and it was bad. I wore like a sheriff shirt and a sheriff hat, sheriff shirt, and my sheriff belt, and I thought I was just gonna walk out there and
Be a character?
and be like, "Yeah, there's a new sheriff in town," and I bombed so hard. I thought that was it. That was comedy, you know.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So was it an actual character you were playing, or were you?
No, I was
have,
just
your-
like it was just gonna be me telling jokes, but dressed like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And I stopped doing that after like 5 times. I did it
You
like
did it
5
more. I like that you kept going.
Yeah,
I mean,
you gotta.
It might be time to bring it back.
I have the shirt still. Sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. Of course,
Yeah,
you
and
do.
the jokes are probably better now. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not gonna throw away that shirt or the hat. You know.
I wish I could have seen that
Yeah.
shit. So you started at the same time as Garrett and Dan.
Yeah, but then I kind of like I did like maybe like 10 times total, and then I just like quit going. Like I knew it was something I wanted to do, but like I had other shit going on in my life, you know. So I didn't really do comedy for a couple years. I did improv a little bit, some acting classes, but I didn't really get back to stand up until like a couple years after that.
Were you in college doing acting and improv?
That was right after college.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got a job. My friend was doing acting class, did the class. Then people were doing an improv class. I was like, I'm going to do that because I just wanted to get back into the comedy stuff, you know. And then I was in 2 improv groups, and they both fell apart. And I was like, I'm just going to do stand up. It's my own schedule.
Yeah, man. I started, like, the reason I got into stand up was I started writing this show that I was going to do on YouTube with me and my buddy, and I was going to be the lead in it. And I was like, I should probably do stand-up. It's like the easiest way to get stage time and just figure out if I can be comfortable in front of people.
Yeah.
Or what can't, I don't know.
That's half the battle.
It's just what I was thinking, right?
Yeah.
And then I started doing stand-up, and I should have probably done improv if I wanted to act, right?
Yeah,
That makes sense. But now I'm just like, fuck that. I like stand-up.
Well, it's
Like,
easier too with
thing.
improv because you have like a scene partner, and a lot of times it's a game. So
More
it's
focused.
Yeah, it's
not
easier
just
to like
random shit. Because starting off with stand-up is real hard.
Yeah.
Especially even like just starting a new bit.
Yeah.
It's like, I know this is funny, but how the fuck do I get it to be funny?
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's weird. I probably definitely should have gotten into improv. Did you like improv?
I loved it. I still go to the meetups occasionally on Thursdays. They have them. It's a free meetup at Gresso's, I think.
Which troupe is that? Or
It's just a improv meetup. Anybody can show up. It's free.
interesting.
Yeah.
And they just do you do skits and stuff?
Yeah, you do
Or
skits,
sketches?
games, sketches. I used to do that a lot. It used to be Tuesdays and Thursdays, but it's a pretty good way just to meet people and just get in front of people and do comedy. Especially if you've never done improv, it's free. So
No, I feel like me and my friends we always like jump into bits and shit randomly, but never really. It's never coordinated.
Yeah, I'm thinking about going again because I've done a lot of like hosting too of like hashtag. I've done that a couple times, Shadowbox. So that's cool.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of sketch around the city. And
Yeah. So the more you can just be on stage and be comfortable, like I think that helped me back with stand up. doing improv.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So you got back into stand up though, just because those kind of fell through.
Well, that and like I felt like improv's kind of hard to like. I mean, anything's hard in comedy to like make a career out of it, but like improv, you don't really see too many improv people like making it. You got to go to the Second City or Groundlings or whatever and work your way up.
Yeah, you definitely have to.
Yeah, and I did an
do all
immersion.
that.
Yeah, I did an immersion at Second City, and like the people were just so.
What's an immersion?
Immersion, it's like 3 days, and it's like 8 hours, and you're just doing classes for 8 hours a day.
How much did that cost?
It was like $270. My friend lived in Chicago, so I just slept on his couch. Went for free. I stayed for free, so that was nice.
Did you like that?
It was awesome, but then we saw like we got free tickets to a show, and it was just like so fucking good. Like I could never imagine myself being like that good.
Do you remember who was in the cast?
No, I don't remember who was in the cast. I don't know if anyone I wouldn't be surprised if I don't know them now because they were just so talented. I was like, man, that is like a next level. Like I don't know if I can get there. Like I feel like I'm funny enough, but they were singing as well and like doing all this shit,
dancing.
Yeah. They're just way more talented. Like I can't sing or dance. So yeah. So
I'm gonna scoot this back just a little bit.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
But loved it though. It was great. Highly recommend. It's worth the
doing that shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just stand up is just so because I was in bands before, and a lot of the reason I love stand up is because I can just show up. I don't have to bring any equipment.
No.
My notepad if I want to.
Yeah, sure.
I don't have to bring anything. I don't have to rely on anyone else.
Yeah.
I just have
That's
to
the
be
best.
there.
Yeah.
And just once I got that like luxury, it's like fuck trying to deal with other people.
Yeah,
man.
That was the problem with like my like groups I was in. Is there's always like one person that like I didn't think was funny or didn't mesh well with, and then like I didn't want to be in scenes with them and stuff like that.
That just gets uncomfortable.
Yeah,
and weird.
Yeah, and it's like they're nice people, but like I feel like in order for it to really gel, you have to fully trust the other people, and I just didn't. I felt like they were kind of forced on me. So I'd be open, like eventually, to do some improv again if I trusted the other people, But
Yeah, well, I feel like it'd be way different to be with a group of people that you like really, really 100% meshed with, as opposed to just strangers.
Yeah.
But then again, like dealing with strangers too could have its own benefits. Like, because what if you just meet someone new that you're just like, just clicks? Because you hear stories about that with SNL all the time.
Yeah. Let's do this. Yeah,
Get some more whiskey going.
But yeah, I think it helps with stand up though too. Like just being comfortable and even doing like occasionally riffing and stand up.
Just making shit up.
Yeah. I think that's like the audience gives you more leeway because they know it's made up on the spot. If it's just a line that you come up with, even if it's like 90% the same shit you do, if you do 10% either new tags you come up with on the spot, but like the audience knows it's something that's made up that day, then you get more leeway.
As long as it's not offensive.
Yeah. There's fine lines.
I made on Wednesday. I ended my set with a joke it was pretty gross.
Yeah.
But like I was just riffing on a concept, and the host was just like, "Oh, that was not okay."
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Oh, fuck," which. It's been a while since someone's been that disappointed with me saying fucked up shit, but I at the same time, it's when you're riffing, you don't know what's coming out. You're just word vomiting, and then it just happens.
Sometimes it sticks. Sometimes it's like, oh shit, I should have said that, and then you gotta fight uphill.
Yeah.
Which is tough.
That was my closer. So
yeah. You can't fight anymore.
I just brought the next comedian.
You basically just fell off the cliff.
Yeah,
That's what you did. You
I just let go.
You just let go. You're falling. You're done.
I was out.
Yeah.
And I stressed about that for a couple days, but then I thought about it. And I was like, man, I can't be upset with the idea of just saying something. I wasn't threatening anyone. It was just a bad joke.
Yeah.
It's just like fuck. But I hate that I stressed myself out about that.
No one's gonna remember that,
That's
maybe
thing.
like the host may remember it, but like right now, because how long you been doing stand up? Like a year?
I'm like approaching 2 years.
2 years? Like I felt like for me personally, I feel like I wasn't even like getting anywhere near to my voice till 5 years in. So 2 years in, even 3 years in, like it really does. Like I hate to say it really doesn't matter, but I think it really doesn't matter.
I just can't be an ass as long as people don't think I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
the
my
key.
first 6 months. That's all I was doing was out there being a dick to people. But
Yeah, you got to realize that doesn't work.
No,
That's not the best way to.
Being nice is definitely, and I want to be nice. I think I was
Yeah.
just insecure because it's hard to
Yeah.
break into that.
Because even if
scene.
you were nice forever, and then you finally make it, and then you just start being an asshole, then like you're gonna be teared down so quick. You got to treat people nice. And,
Also, it's a luxury to be able to do what we're doing, even if we're not like
getting paid.
getting paid.
Yeah.
To me, it's like, oh shit, people sit there and listen to me, and I get something out of it. I mean, I
Sure.
get a high out of it. You know,
Yeah.
I get the satisfaction of being like, fucking yeah. Also, just writing a good joke, it feels really fucking good.
Yeah. Like when you write something it's going to be funny, and then you tell it and it's funny, and then people say something about it afterwards. That's what we do it for.
It's and it depending on how good you are, it comes few and far between, or all the time. But like, dude, whenever it happens, every one of us that does it, we all know that feeling.
Well, like, even if I did like really good on stage and I hear the laughter, like I feel like I don't feel like I've done anything good until after the show. If someone's got to say something to me, like, "Hey, nice job."
I'll keep that in mind next time after the show.
Yeah, you're like, "Hey."
Go,
Yeah.
like,
So
hey, Gary, that was awful.
Yeah.
That was one of the worst sets.
Oh
I've
yeah,
ever
but I
seen.
don't care about your opinion. So
I used to do that after just sets after music. I would go to the band and just be like, "Oh man, that was one of the worst sets I've ever seen."
Yeah.
Because I got so tired of. I ran sound for 8 years, so I got so tired of just everyone being like, "How was it?"
Yeah.
So I just started saying, So if it was bad, I would be like, "Oh, that was good, dude."
yeah,
It was a nice set.
Yeah.
But if it was good, I'd be like, that was so fucking bad. That was one of the worst. I would like look you
Fuck
in
with
the
them?
eyes.
Yeah.
Just because
and they
it's
make
like,
them work harder.
Yeah,
You don't
because
know.
then they're like, no, and I'm like, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Okay, that was sick. You know?
Yeah. So
No.
you can't keep it. You can't keep the.
I mean, I have.
Yeah, you have.
It depends. Depends how much I like the person.
Yeah, if they see through the bullshit because they know that was like that was really fucking.
That was so good.
You can't say it wasn't good. Sometimes you just know as a performer that it was good.
Dude, working sound was, or even being in music is one of the best bullshit comedy filters, experiences, because like so many people have the worst jokes.
Yeah.
And when they're not comedians. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of see that now. Like you can kind of, when you see people that are green or like someone that's just been doing it for like 2 or 3 months, it's like, oh yeah, you're still like working out the kinks of like
There's
what's actually really just hacky and bad.
Yeah, there's stages because I was definitely super hacky. So was you. So was everybody.
Yeah, we all are.
Yeah. You can't help it. You think it's like because you just think of it as a way, and you go up there and you realize it's different. So you really have to earn them. Earn the laughs.
Yeah. So you said you've been doing it about 7 years.
Yeah.
And you said it took you about 5 to
Really?
quote unquote find your voice.
Yeah.
What exactly? How do you define like your voice or journey of finding it?
Honestly, I feel like I'm still finding it, but like I feel like it's more 5 years till I felt like I was funny. Like almost every set either was funny or almost all the jokes worked. I mean, I'd still bomb like once in a while, but I feel like most of the time I can, even if a joke was bad, I've done it long enough to say something that counteracts it until I can move past it. But I still feel like my comedy in 5 or 10 years may be way different than the stuff I'm doing now. Like I feel like I'll get more into talking about real life stuff, more than silly, stupid jokes that kind of I'm doing now. I have some that cross over like that, but I feel like I feel like it'd be hard to say you've officially found your voice because I feel like it could always be changing,
Yeah, and it's interesting that you didn't define it really by style. You just defined it by like confidence.
Yeah.
Like once you feel confident to be able to recover from,
something that doesn't do bad, a new line, yeah.
That's how you kind of define your voice. Like for now, that's how you kind of define that.
Yeah. But I feel like for me to say this will be like what I'm doing now is going to be my like final style. I don't know if I'll ever have a final style. You know, I may even like because I'm going to be doing this the rest of my life. So if I'm 80, I could go back to these stupid fucking silly jokes just for fun. You know, who knows? But as long as you're just having fun and you know you're good enough to just get through the set and most of the jokes work, I feel like that's what it's about.
I've always been fascinated by your sets just because you have like sort of a goofy persona on stage, but then you you start talking about like potatoes, but then you'll say fuck, and it's like the most hard hitting fuck in a joke ever, and it's because you use it sparingly.
Yeah.
Like did you always make like goofy jokes and then start to loosen up a little bit more into that, or
yeah, I think that's kind of how it works. Like you know, you're not comfortable saying those type of things or telling someone fuck you, but for me saying fuck you is like I'm not really mad, you know, but I'm using it to get the people back on my side, which is a weird way of doing it, but I feel like I have a weird like goofiness about me that like they know I'm not serious, you know, when I'm saying that stuff. Or at least I think they.
Well, have you ever been like punched in the face or like heckled that hard where people wanted to fight you?
No, one guy at the Funny Bone one time, I did my dick move joke, where basically it's a short joke. So for the podcast listeners, I'll tell it. It's basically the joke is, hey, you guys heard about the phrase dick move. But you can't call someone out on it. You can't be like, hey man, I saw your dick move. Right? Can't do that. I'm used to some laughter after that, but it's all good. But then one guy at the Funny Bone was just like, really, Ben? And then I was like, hey man, that's a dick move. And then the whole crush.
That's the way to wrap it up.
Yeah. He did the thing that I was talking about. So yeah, that was the only time I remember being like really heckled.
Dude, I feel like I've gotten heckled so fucking hard.
Yeah.
Probably because I'm not a very likable person on stage. It's a weird uphill battle. Do you find it easy? Like, cause I've seen you even go up on stage and wait like 10, 12 seconds before you even start your first joke.
Sometimes I just like I will get laughter without even saying it.
That's what I just
smile.
Got one of those faces and shit where you do it.
I used to do it at the Funny Bone all the time, and like people would just start laughing, and I didn't even start talking to them. So
fucking use it. I got one of those faces where people are gonna start throwing banana shoes at me.
Banana shoes. Slippery motherfucker. So you just gotta use it. I've been told I have a good comedy voice. Like they say, it's like big boobs for a chick. You know, it's just like easier when your voice is funny. I don't know if it is.
I'd say more like a
goofy voice, maybe. I don't know.
Well, no, if we're using like the boob analogy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'd say like the cute like perky, like always in A cup.
Yeah.
You know.
That's what having a good voice is like?
Yeah.
Being perky?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it's like,
still a good trait. It's something.
It's not in your face. Like big boobs is in your face.
Yeah.
That's like an Andrew Dice Clay voice. You know what I mean? You've got more one of those like I want to use them as like a nice little
sneak up on him voice.
Cuddler.
That's good. My voice will cuddle you.
Is my smoking bothering you at all?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
No.
Sometimes I feel insecure when I'm smoking around people.
No, it's all good, man.
But
you do your thing.
I want to stick to this voice thing because I've never had a conversation with this about someone else.
Yeah.
So when you write, you don't write in like, oh, well, that doesn't really fit. Like, have you written a joke and you're like, it's not for me, and then you give it? Do you like keep it, give it to someone else, or does that even happen? Or I
don't know if that even happens because it's me. So if I'm writing it, I feel like it's my if I don't think it's funny, I won't even try it. So I think the things that I just like write down and that I can't think of a joke. Like sometimes I just write down a funny, like just something I think is funny, but then I was like, that's not. I don't think I can pull that off.
It's good to get it out at least get it out. But
But yeah, so it's just I think a voice it's something you can't control. You know, obviously everyone has a different voice. So it's something unique to you that, like, when you know somebody, they put a Facebook status update, you read it in their voice. You know, I don't know if you noticed that or have had that happen. But that's what's really, like, when people know, I feel like that's really, like, your voice. Like, when people know what you sound like and think, you know, when, like, oh, what would this person think about this?
How would they even use the cadence and the inflection? And that's really interesting because I come from a creative writing background where like finding your voice in an academic sense was more like exactly that. How can people read it in a way to where they have all the voices in their head? They don't have to think about what that person sounds like.
Yeah.
How does that really translate to comedy though? Well,
I feel like writing, you're an author, they're never going to hear your actual voice, you know, unless you're, I don't know if any author is, even J.K. Rowling, you don't like hear her voice when you read Harry Potter, you know? I feel like comedians are probably...
Dave Sedaris, Bukowski, you know, like Mark Twain even he was like technically the first stand-up comic because he would give readings of his writings. Make people laugh.
So that you can, but a lot of, like, I feel like comedy is unique where, like obviously if Seinfeld, like, called me right now, I'd know who it was. I believe it would be him, you know, because, like, I mean, obviously there are people who can do impressions that sound just like people, but it's really hard to...
Well, I'm not even talking about physically the sound of the voice. I'm saying, like, you know, like... Or I guess I'm still trying to figure out what your definition of that is. It seems to you it's like confidence. It's like if it comes from my head, basically your art is your voice.
Sure.
And so I guess that confuses me as to how do you find it or does it find you?
There wasn't like one time where I was like, oh, I left stage and I'm like, oh, that's my voice, you know? Like, it just comes with, like, it's just a slow confidence thing where the more and more you keep doing it, like, now I'm never nervous. Like, once in a while I'll be nervous. I'm doing, like, a bigger venue and there's a lot of people, but once I get the first joke out, then it goes away, you know? It's more just knowing that you can just be you on stage and it's good enough, you know?
Okay, that's a really good point. I think being comfortable with yourself and just being like, hey, I'm funny. I have my jokes. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, like
this is what I do.
I've done it for a large crowd and gotten them to all crack up. So, like, knowing I can do that, I feel like, you know, I can do it to any crowd. You know, but it's just hard to get crowds. That's the hard thing about comedy is finding crowds that will listen, pay attention, be 100% on you, because people talk and half the people aren't paying attention and they're loud talking. It's hard to get the crowd, you know, on your side at like an open mic, you know?
Yeah. Open mics is something I really want to talk to you about. Let's take a quick break.
Yeah, sure.
We're back. Hello. Hi. Oh, I wanted to fix this shirt.
Fix the dirty sock. Anyone want to talk about the sock?
The first guest talked about the sock.
Did you, like, try different socks? Is this the least...
It's the same sock.
But, no, I'm saying, is this, like, the least dirty sock you could find?
Short answer, yes.
Yeah, nice.
Now, does that mean it's not a dirty sock?
I'm sure
it's a clean sock.
It was a clean. It's been there for a while though.
It's just like 4 years old. It's like a 4-year-old clean sock. So whatever that means.
Yeah. So it's all right.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
As far as dirty socks go.
Yeah. It's up there.
But shit. So we left off with open mics. I wanted to talk about this because.
Sure.
Like how many shows do you get or you play on average?
I try to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I try to do 3 times a week. I say 2 is the minimum to stay like on par, 3 or more, you start getting better. 1 is not enough.
1 a week?
Yeah.
No, open mics 1 a week is...
Yeah, you just gotta, it's something that, it's a rhythm to it, so you can't quit going. If
you can hit 2 in one night,
yeah,
and that's when you really start to get the fucking groove.
Yeah. So I try to do 3 because I'm busy a lot doing other things also. So Wednesday I usually go last at Barrel because I have my daughter on Wednesdays. So after she gets picked up at 8, the show starts at like 7:30, right? Something like that. 7:45.
Yeah.
So I have Sean put me on late. But it's still over by like 10, so that's nice. But then I do Monday or Friday. If I don't do Friday, I do Thursday. So, but yeah, you gotta get out. It's not a stay at home and get better type of job.
Do you like the? And I don't like want to throw shade or anything here, but Tree Bar has been the mic that I've gone to the least out of any of them.
Sure.
And it's one of those, like, I've gone there a bunch of times and it's just like, locals, and it's really hard. And then but every now and then it's like the best fucking open mic in the city.
Yeah.
And it's really kind of hit or miss. And like I was telling you before we start recording, that's like my personal day. I just take Thursdays off if I can to just kind of like unwind and do whatever. But how is Tree Bar on
on average?
Yeah.
It's like falling apart, man. that bar. It's like when it was snowy and rainy, like they had leaks all over the place. Bathrooms always a mess. But once in a while it was a good crowd. I just liked it when it was Zeno. It was better. The best part is there was easy parking.
So that mic that's at Tree Bar now was the Zeno's mic?
Was Zeno's,
okay.
Yeah, before we got kicked out of there. So
do you know who, how do you go and just, do you just go up to a fucking bar manager
and say, hey,
you want to do
Well, he gets paid, I know that, so he went...
Because I got grandfathered into my open mic.
Yeah, well, someone was already doing it, right?
Yeah, and then someone did it after that, and then I literally was grandfathered into it.
Yeah, it's not like you went up to the bar and said, hey, I want to do this. Yeah, so you basically got to find a spot, and then you got to ask probably the manager or whoever owns that place. I've never done it. Never started my own show. But I've heard of people going and asking, going around places. But I've also heard of places trying it, and then, comedians will go in there and drop a bunch of F-bombs and be super rude, and they have one show, and that's it.
Ugh.
So, it's just if you're...
That's probably me, to be honest.
I mean, maybe. There have been, I'm just saying, you can imagine there's some comedians who just don't care. They just, will go up there and talk about fisting or anal for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, which can be funny if you're skilled enough, but, if they're new comedians...
Some of those people get booked.
Yeah, but if you're newer and you're just not, you're just trying to go for the shock route and you're just not good enough to do that type of stuff, it can come off as very uncomfortable. And then if you're a manager and you see that and you see, you maybe you have customers leave or whatever, you never get invited back, So they're making a business decision. It's got to fit. It's, not all places are just going to be able to host a mic,
especially an open mic. Where
it could be anybody. If it's a book show and they're good, then they may have had a different stance. But anybody can say anything. That's
Yeah, and sometimes the worst is when the regulars there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sign it up.
Yeah.
I have joke to tell. And it's oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'll put you on last, dude, because that means at least the rest of the bar patrons are going to hang out because they want to see you fail. But, I won't put you last.
Yeah.
Because you're fucked up, and also you're going to offend everybody.
Yeah. So that's why it's hard to get new mics going. And that makes sense. But
it does make sense.
Yeah.
I get it, because I've run into that myself. you know, I as a host, I've even kind of fucked up here and there where, you know, single out certain audience members.
Yeah.
Which are
Well,
just,
Jimmy V's is nice. It's like outside.
well, not
outside
right
is-
now. It's inside.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. We out in the winter.
No,
Kidding me?
I've only been there like once. It wasn't
man.
that bad. Yeah. Oh, because I play soccer Tuesdays. That's fine.
So
Yeah.
you take Tuesdays off?
Yeah. So no comedy Tuesdays.
So you don't even do Bossy.
And then the Bossy once. One time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is the day? Do you soccer year round?
So it's indoor. I play indoor. So sometimes it's year round when we play summer, but we've been skipping the summer because it's outdoor. It's just so hot outside. So we play indoor fall, winter, and spring. So we're in our winter session. We'll have one more session.
Damn. You don't get injured from that, or?
I have, yeah, man. I hurt my wrist like 2 years ago. Still, it hurts a little bit, like when I like do things, and I got tripped and hurt my. I hit my head the other day. It's just like I'm getting older now, so like sometimes I'll just roll over and I'll tweak my back or my neck, and I'm just
You
didn't even do.
sneeze and you throw your back out.
Yeah, and it sucks, man.
Well, how old are you?
I just turned 32.
32.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
You're not the oldest one we've had on the podcast.
Yeah.
Brandon Gerber is the oldest one we've had on the podcast. I want to make that very
I thought you said you had Sam Hoare.
Oh, yeah, no. Brandon Gerber is the oldest one we've had on the podcast.
He's older than Sam. Yeah.
He looks younger than all of us.
Yeah.
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 No. Anyway.
What I feel like Gerber would have like totally just tore this room apart. Is that what he did?
Dude, the first time I had him on, he came in and he was just like, "Oh, what's up, everybody? Yeah, I guess we're doing my podcast now." I was just like, "Wait, are you bogarting my podcast,
Yeah.
dude?" And then after that, Ty Moore came in, and Ty Moore just started like hosting, and I was
Yeah.
just like, "Wait, everyone's just bogarting my podcast.
This is my podcast.
Am I that much of a pushover? What's going on over
I just
here?"
feel like Brandon Gerber would just be so against the Dirty
All of
Bedroom.
this?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's been here twice,
Yeah.
and I was a frequent guest on his podcast. So
What's he talk about?
just his stuff.
Yeah.
He just keeps talking. He's one of those like I like to more like have a conversation,
Yeah.
and he does more of a like a straight like kind of Bill Burr, like I'm gonna go on a rant and then have you chime in sort of thing.
Yeah. I could see that. Yeah. I
Like a Howard Stern.
Yeah. He, I like right after I met him, I actually played soccer against him. He was a goalie, and I had I think
How bad was he?
he wasn't that bad, but I definitely scored against him. Our team beat his team. I think then in the second half he didn't play goal anymore, but.
Oh, they took him out. They took him out.
He got pulled. I think it's like a decision, like, hey, you suck. We need a different goalie. I don't know. It's just one of the teams that rotate, I guess. But yeah, he got pulled from a men's league game. Can't even stick
I
to the
can't
whole.
believe that people like I've never understood why people, you know, no offense,
Yeah.
your fucking age, even my age, do
Sports
like that.
It's my only like I don't work out. I should, but that's my I work like it's my one workout a week. You know, I play soccer, and it's fun. It's still fun. I enjoy it. It's my running. I don't like to run, so I need to work out more.
Yeah, I don't work out. I mean, I do manual labor.
Yeah.
as a job.
So that's kind of.
I also walk. Like I'll walk from here to Shrunken Head
Yeah.
and back.
Yeah,
if
that's
it's
what-
nice out during the summer, why not?
Yeah, I
And
used
that's
to
a
do
good
that. I used to
3-hour
walk. Yeah, and that's really good for you.
It actually is really
Yeah.
good. It makes you feel really fun, especially walking on the way there. My
Yeah.
sets are way better.
Yeah.
Than when I'm on the bus and I'm trying to avoid everyone. The lights are all
But
bright.
now I have to drive because I have a house now.
Oh wait,
by
are you
Hilliard.
bragging?
No, I'm just saying I can't
You know,
walk.
you got a house now.
I
You
do
got
have a
gold chains
house.
and shit too, bro.
No
What's
gold
going on?
chains. No gold chains. I got lucky.
Your
to
daughter
have a
got
house.
Gucci shoes and shit.
No, man, I got super lucky to have a house. You know? Do you know that story? How
No,
I had
no,
a house?
tell the
That
story.
I won $40,000 playing fantasy football.
Fucking here. This is why we talk.
Yeah, you don't know that story?
No, tell the story, dude.
No, man, I won. So FanDuel, the 2017 NFL football season. I don't know if you watch NFL at all. Probably. I feel like you're
I'm fairly familiar.
fairly familiar with football. You know.
I like my Browns and I watch. the
Yeah,
Super Bowl.
Browns. Yeah.
Yeah.
The glorious start to the 2017 0-17 Browns season. First week, I put $100 in FanDuel, and I was like, I'm gonna spend $100. I'll do one big lineup and this $33 buy-in, and a couple smaller ones. My $33 buy-in, I got fourth and won $40,000. And I was super close to winning $250, which was first place, but $40,000 was pretty life changing. And
Yeah,
I had two Browns on my team, and I had Corey Coleman and Deshaun Kaiser. And sometimes I just lay in my house and I'm like, man, I wouldn't own this house if it wasn't for Corey Coleman and Deshaun Kaiser. And they're just like out, like they're both terrible and off the Browns now. But
so
yeah,
you got $40,000.
$40,000, you know, about $10K for tax. But I would never. It'd be hard to like save up money for a down payment.
And that was the down payment plus
I had to pay my lawyer for my daughter's situation I have got going on, so I had that, and then I had.
Do you have school fines or
no? School
I call them fines.
student loans.
Yeah, I call them school fines.
I could have paid off. I still can pay off my student loans early, but I just don't. I got like $7,000 left. You know.
Yeah,
so
that's nothing to worry about.
Yeah, it's nothing. So I'm just paying it off slowly, just because I can. But yeah, I use it. You know, most of that money's gone, so don't rob me.
Yeah, well, I don't think anyone's worried. I mean, are you telling me not?
No, I don't have like 10 grand. I don't have to bring that money. I don't bring any money here. But yeah, like
that's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
though.
I was super lucky, and I'm blessed. It was a blessing in my life. It happened at a really good time. You know, because I was living because I had my daughter, so I hadn't yet met my daughter, and I had to go through court. So at that time, I really needed something because my plan was just to raise my daughter when I had her at my parents' house, which is like real shitty. Like versus
the house allowed you to.
The house allowed me to have my daughter because she has her own room, and
And that looks good in the eyes of the judge.
Looks really good.
Do you mind? Can we go into like what's the whole daughter situation? Because you basically just chimed in there.
Yeah.
You brought it into saying like I had my daughter. Finally got to see her.
Yeah. So what happened was seeing a girl. I stopped seeing the girl and then found out later she was pregnant. But we were like...
Did you find out through her or...
Through her. She told me.
Okay.
She was like, we need to talk. I was like, had a bad feeling about it. Then, we were going to be cool. Didn't want to force a relationship or anything. But, we're going to be... both going to co-parent, and then
it was decided on keeping it.
Well, yeah, I will let her make that decision, and then what happened was she when we started talking about like when because the standard deal is like every other weekend and Wednesday nights, and she never wanted me to have an overnight, which is not like that's how you bond, you have her overnight and you wake her up.
I spent 7 years as a legal assistant for Guardian ad litem.
Yeah.
So
I dealt with a Guardian.
I'm very familiar with how shitty it is, especially for men in your situation.
Well, supposedly it's very common because basically she told me if you take me to court over that, I won't let you see her, but she would let me have. It was non-negotiable. Yeah, and this is just what happened. So I'm not, I'm not saying anything bad about her. Whatever decision she made, she thought was best. So that's on her. But because I had to go through the lengthy court process, and even after having a DNA test, I still had no rights. So I didn't meet my daughter till she was 7 months old. So I won the money. I won the money when my baby was like 2 months old, so I was about to go to court. So at that point, I was still living in an apartment where I was planning on going to my parents to raise her. Like when I had her, I was just going to stay there.
And your parents knew?
I told my parents about it. They were supportive, just because of they're supportive of me. Surprised, definitely surprised.
You're like, wait, your semen works?
Yeah, they definitely shocked to them because they didn't even know I was seeing anybody or whatever. So that was interesting, but yeah.
How old are you at this time?
So my baby's 18 months. So let's see, I was 29. Yeah, I was 29. So I won the money and it was perfect because I needed money. It's expensive to go to court, and pay for all that stuff. So that was going to be expensive. And then, at that point, I decided I was going to stay in Columbus for a while, just to, be around my daughter. Versus, previously I wanted to potentially move, to LA.
As a comedian.
Yeah, I was thinking about it because I had
especially if you don't have
no commitments. No, yeah.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah. So I've always had family here, so it's always going to be back. But so then after I knew I was going to stay here and I had the money to buy a house, I found a house. Got really lucky. There were 5 higher bids on my house. But I wrote like a letter that I did that. I put a picture of my baby on it, even though I hadn't met her yet. But like I was a single father, and
that was the artist.
Yeah, and then I definitely did. So it was my mom's idea to write a letter. I went online and I looked at letters. I like combined 2 like really good letters into like one letter, and then I basically put a picture of my baby and added a couple things. And
too late now.
Yeah. So if the seller of the house is listening, I'm sorry. I kind of, forged the. They weren't gonna look. So they said they weren't gonna look at the letters, but they did. So they read the letter and decided to pick mine versus people who would pay more money for the house. So I was lucky. But all happened in.
That's crazy. It happened all within the span of.
Well, yeah.
So, like, you're the 9 months and then 2 months. So, in the span of 2 years.
Well, it was a year ago on my birthday I found out I got the house. Then the next month I met my daughter. And then I got a new job, which was more 9 to 5. So, because my old job I had to work on the weekend. I make more money now. So yeah, I got all that happened within 2 months.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, it was a crazy year. So.
Are you religious at all?
I grew up Catholic, but I don't really go to church.
Because that sounds fucking. It sounds. I don't want to say like
meant to be.
It sounds mystical.
Yeah, that.
It sounds like a guardian angel, some guardian angel bullshit.
The guardian angel made sure the Browns scored enough points. The Jags defense.
Dude, which by the way is a really good joke.
Yeah. Guardian angel.
Like my guardian angel was.
No, I'm gonna.
Like, oh shit! No, I can't help him at home. I have to go down.
I did start talking about. Yeah, I did the other day at Barrel. I did a joke about how I bought the house when the money. Some guy came up to me afterwards and he like wanted screenshots, so I showed him, and then he's like, "Dude, it's like meeting a celebrity right now."
Wow.
Because I was like,
$40,000.
He's like, yeah.
The amount of people that win the lottery all the time.
Yeah.
It's and you weren't even playing lottery. You're doing DraftKings.
It was FanDuel. Yeah, same shit. Yeah. So I know football. I picked a couple Browns because I'm a homer and they were cheap because the Browns were terrible. And the Jags defense, and no one knew about them. And I got lucky, and it changed my life. Because if I didn't win that money, I'd be living in an apartment still. When I had my daughter, be doing my parents, which would be like just annoying. Like not like I feel like everything would came together so perfectly.
And I mean, you always post pictures of you and your daughter hanging out on fucking. You seem to really enjoy being a parent.
Yeah, it's good. She's a good kid. She's always smiling. She sleeps 12 hours. No, she sleeps 15 hours a day. So she's 8 to 8. So it's nice because it's like when I have her, it's like a nice excuse to go to bed early, and get extra sleep because most of the time I'm working or I'm doing something I don't get to sleep.
Or you feel bad for not doing comedy.
Yeah. So I get to go to bed early, and then she takes a 3-hour nap still, so it's perfect. It's not too it's not too bad. It's a lot easier than I thought it would be, But the hardest thing is feeding her. That's tough. She throws her food. You cook food and then she just.
Well, she's your child.
Yeah.
So she's gonna be kind of fucked up.
Yeah. She'll be good. She was a comedy baby for sure. Because I met her mom at a comedy show. So if it wasn't for comedy, she wouldn't be alive.
Damn, dude. You think about that?
Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. Shrunken Head. Yeah.
Shrunken Head. It's one of my favorite spots for open mics, and I haven't been able to hit it lately. And I feel kind of bad about it. Speaking of Shrunken Head, though, fucking the roast.
Yeah, I didn't go to this last roast.
Yeah.
I wasn't there.
It was the first show I got booked on.
Oh, you were there. Who'd you?
Jameson.
Okay, how'd it go? I heard it was good. Actually, yours was good.
Well, I mean, all 3 judges voted against me.
Oh, okay. So
Because I bombed one joke,
Yeah.
which I did. I know. I
Yeah.
loved it, which
Yeah.
is fine. But it's my first show I've ever been booked on.
ever.
Ever.
Okay. So that's a step. That's good.
Ever.
Did you get like approached? He said, "Hey, you want to do the show?"
Well, Ian just posted on Facebook,
Oh, who
like,
wants
hey,
to
who
do
wants
it?
to roast? And
Yeah.
I was just like, I want to roast... This is funny, because I was like, I want to roast Brandon
Yeah.
or Lucas. And he goes, plot twist, Brandon and Lucas are roasting each other.
Oh.
And I was like, fuck. And so that night, it was Wednesday at Barrel, so
Yeah.
I saw Jameson there, and I was like, Jameson, I wanted to do this roast. You roasting him? He's like, no. And I was like, can we roast each other? He's like, yeah, dude, for sure. So then I immediately,
Yeah.
because I had...
Yeah.
No one's booking me on shit, so I have
Yeah.
to just find my way to be thrown on stuff.
Yeah.
And so Ian, passed it. And then it turned out where Brandon was going to roast John Marshall.
And he couldn't show
Johnny
up.
Collins.
Yeah, I heard he couldn't show up.
And then it ended up actually being them two against each other,
Yeah.
which is really funny. But no, not only was it my first show, but I also went first.
Oh.
First. I was
You
first.
did the first joke?
I did the first joke. It's my first show.
I hate going
and do the
first.
first set.
Yeah. Honestly, that's like
It killed though. Like
Yeah.
I broke the ice really well.
Yeah.
I thought I did at least. My jokes were very. I was just like, Jameson, you look like Spock fucked a Klingon.
yeah.
It's just right there. Everyone was just like, okay,
Quick.
we're in there. We're
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah. I think that's the motivation to do well in comedy is you never have to go first again. You know? That's
But dude, don't me first.
yeah.
First.
Yeah.
Just give me the hardest thing I can.
Yeah.
Because to me, I
You
watch
gotta
it.
get comfortable because growing up, doing comedy,
We're
when
always done in the pit.
yeah, when I started doing guest sets, every time I did one, I'm first. So you're gonna have to get used to it. So it's fine, but obviously, it's good when the audience is used to comedy and they know what's going on. It's nice to go second, at least second.
It
But
was a packed room
Yeah,
too. It was
yeah.
fun. Even the bomb that I joked, even the joke that I bombed, which is just like a joke about how long he's been doing comedy versus how short I've been doing
Yeah.
comedy. It was like the only one maybe I can jab him, and I just flubbed it entirely. I still had 5% laughter in the room.
Yeah.
That's how full of a room it was.
Yeah.
Because every joke I had, it was so much fun to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so much fun when you have a comedy crowd.
that's
As opposed to an open
I get
mic
so
crowd.
excited. Yeah, that's the best part. And not all book shows. Sometimes you'll get booked for a show, and there's 3 people there. I've had that 10 plus times
I'm sure.
at nice places, and there's 3 or 4 other good comedians on the
You
show.
get paid and shit though, at least.
I mean, sometimes not. It's based on how many people show up, or you get a free drink or something.
right? It's
Which is-
something.
It's fine. I'm used to. I'm not right now. I'm lucky enough where I'm not I don't really need the money. You know, it'd be nice to get paid, but
To me, it's not about the money.
Yeah, yeah.
It's about the idea of
Yeah.
just
yeah,
can I keep climbing that stupid fucking ladder?
Yeah.
Because I know I'm gonna drop eventually. I know I'm gonna fall back down that ladder.
Yeah.
So if I get one now, but also that's probably a shitty way of thinking about it, especially since
yeah.
I mean, to me, I just did the roast. It was a fun fucking show.
Yeah.
It was a great writing exercise.
Yeah.
Because I'm never gonna use.
Well,
those
yeah,
jokes
that's the thing
again,
about that.
you know?
You're writing those jokes is you're never going to use them again. So it's you don't want to put too much time in it, but you also don't want to not do well.
You
So-
don't want to just completely.
Yeah,
And I thought me and Jameson were a good opener. I have a video footage
Yeah,
of it,
yeah.
and I watched it that night, and I was just I didn't do as bad as I thought I did.
yeah. Do you practice your piano? Because obviously you do it at Ethel's. Do you ever? How much do you think you would have eventually 5 or 10 minutes on the piano?
No. And not because I couldn't, it's because I don't want to.
Yeah,
People have asked me this.
Yeah.
This is actually why I wasn't booked on a show last year, is because I was booked to be a comedy music,
Yeah.
kind of duo,
Yeah.
mixture. And I kind of went off, and I was just I'm not a piano comic.
Yeah.
I'm a comic. And that was a mistake.
But sometimes
I should take any gig I'm offered.
Yeah.
If people like what I do,
you never did a set before.
Dude, I totally learned from my mistakes on that one.
Yeah.
But no, I don't really like music comedy. I've never really liked music comedy.
There's something special about music comedy though when it's good though. It's like sometimes you're up like it's really good. Like I'm super impressed by your comedy when you're doing the piano on there. And like obviously it's to do that on places would be tough because they would have to have a piano or you'd have to have your own piano or whatever.
I thought about bringing like a
keyboard.
Casio Tone SK1, like one of those like battery operated tiny little
keyboard.
kid ones, and just being like beep, and then telling
honestly, it could be good, man. Like,
but I don't want to be that guy. I want to be some. See, this is where I guess the voice conversation comes back into play because like. Maybe you don't want that to be your thing. I don't want to be that person. And just because I have a musical background doesn't mean I have to play music. I mean, Kyle Kinane. I feel like comes from a musical background.
Good and it's bad. Like it's kind of cheap, but it's also like a beautiful laughter when you can get. Like,
see, if we're at Ethel's on Friday night and the comedy's kind of dry and there's a weird crowd in there and it seems and I'm like 7th or 9th or 13th or something right in the middle. And I'm like noticing I need to break something. Yeah. Then I just flip a switch and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do all my jokes. But the thing about that is I have to cut my jokes down to like 4 instead of 7.
Yeah.
And so with that, I kind of compromise. Although it's really good for trying out new jokes. Yeah. Because then I can do just the punchlines. Especially if it's like a story joke, I just do just the punchlines. And if it works, then I know to continue on with the story. Yeah. But if it doesn't work, then just toss it out. Yeah. Just rework it.
But like the nice part is about the piano is like there's no dead silence or like even if a joke doesn't do well, if you like go into like the transition piano, it could save it or make it less painful.
I've been heckled more at the Ethel's mic than any other mic combined. Yeah. But never heckled doing the piano. Yeah. So I think what you're saying is a lot of truth.
Good. Like honestly, it's really good. It's something I think you should explore more and have a more open mind about. But obviously, you want to do what you think you want to do long term.
You're right. I think you're right. Yeah. I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah. Maybe a keyboard. That'd be cool. Something that. I mean.
Maybe just save it for because what I used to do is do every other mic. Regular, but every Friday I would do the piano. Yeah. But now I'm just like people recognize me on Friday as the piano guy. Yeah. And it bothered me because I don't want to be the piano guy. Yeah. But maybe I should just keep to that and just be like, I'll do my regular sets throughout the week. On Fridays, I'll do
it's just so. Set. What I think is the piano just makes it a whole another element of the experience and. Comedy is, I feel like comedy is more than just being funny. It's also about being interesting sometimes, and I feel like if you can either be interesting or funny or a combination, that's going to make the whole experience better for the audience member. Because maybe when they're not laughing, they're still interested. And then, as long as the whole experience, they're focused on you, I think that allows for a good show.
That's a really good point. Yeah. That's a really good point, and I wanted to ask you about this because it seems like some of like you and Garrett and some of the more veterans of the crowd have taken a liking to my comedy more recently. Yeah. So therefore in the past. Therefore in the past. Yeah. Doesn't make any fucking sense. You know what I'm saying? That fucking whistle pig, dude.
Whistle pig, man.
Whistle pig
from California,
right now, dude.
Or Colorado.
But I think you're onto something there, though. Like, maybe I should be taking more chances. Yeah. And doing more.
Because because everyone just does it and talks. Like, you can't do. Like, you do your own thing. Like, if you brought a keyboard to, Shrunken or whatever, like, you would stand out because you're the only one doing, like, music comedy. You're, like, it just makes it easier because it's not all about it's about the whole experience. I think.
Well, I wouldn't be able to bring. Here's the thing. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't be able to bring like a keyboard.
Yeah, I don't know that much about keyboard.
I bring like a little handheld.
Yeah, as long as you can.
It'd be more like and that's the thing. It'd be more like a prop than an instrument.
Yeah.
And that kind of sucks.
We'll see. It's just all about how
Maybe.
I mean, it's worth a shot, you know.
But no, I will say though, like I remember very distinctly. It was one night at Ethel's that I did the piano, and somehow it was the right timing, the right amount of heckling, the right amount of just everyone being there, and to me, I tore the place down.
Yeah.
And when I got off stage, like you,
Yeah.
Garrett, fucking Ty, like everyone was out there, Sadie. They were all just like, "Oh, you fucking nailed that shit."
I think I remember.
And I was just like, "Oh, so I guess this is what I do now," you know?
Yeah.
Which to me in my mind, I was like, I guess I'm doing absurdist comedy.
Yeah.
You know, which is, you know, kind of pratfallish and kind of
Yeah.
gimmicky, but then I kind of like took that to my head and I was just like, fuck that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Which is like, why am I pushing against it?
Yeah.
But maybe this, again, feeds into the finding your voice. Like maybe what I want isn't necessarily what I'm good at.
Yeah.
Maybe what I'm good at and what I want can compromise into...
Yeah. Or you can do what you're good at to help you do what you more want later. Because like you can use... Like Jerry Seinfeld wanted to do anything you wanted now. He could do it because he has an audience. But like you could get an audience from doing like musical comedy and then eventually transition into more just you do.
It's a really good point.
Yeah.
And especially we know more now than ever on how to like not pigeonhole ourselves.
Well, that's also how to
into
get
something.
like I feel like
That's what I'm afraid of, is being pigeonholed.
yeah, it would just be easier for you. Like it would be easier, and I'm never going to go the musical comedy route because I don't think I'm not very good at music.
You got a very Bon Iver voice.
Yeah, I think I'm doing.
Bon Iver.
Yeah. I'm doing that fine, but I feel like it's easy. It's like I would say it's kind of. It's not really like a cheat code, but it's easier. I feel like for a comedy person to stand out doing like a musical comedy set. You know, like a Bo Burnham. That's how he got going, as he had that song and it was on YouTube.
I also don't like his comedy.
Well, yeah, but
I
still,
respect it highly because what he's doing is really good.
It's very innovative.
It just doesn't do anything for me.
Sure, but it's innovative. You know, he has his audience.
Clearly.
And he may hate doing that now, but like it's just
He's
it's
talked
what
about
sells.
how he kind of doesn't really like
Yeah.
where he's at. That's why he made that movie, which
Yeah.
is apparently really fucking good.
But yeah, you use that, like use what you're good at to help you get to what you want to do.
The platform.
Yeah. I think that's a good
Not a
route.
bad idea.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to turn into a self-help episode for me.
Yeah, man. This is what you should do. All right.
Come over every week and we can
drop
just
everything else.
Yes.
Just focus on
We'll have a separate podcast for just
constructive
Gary,
criticism.
Gary and Logan therapy sessions.
Yeah. It's good, man.
Oh man, we're looking really good on time. You want to take another quick break and then keep going for a little bit more?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Oh yeah. Welcome back. We're back.
Yeah, we're back.
So you're a WWF fan?
Growing up, I watched a little wrestling. I know my roommate puts on the big battles. He'll put that on the TV, but I don't really pay attention too much anymore. You know, back in the day.
Did you go to any live events?
One event with my dad. Yeah, one event with my dad when I was a kid. I don't know if it was. I don't know if Nationwide was a thing back then. I don't remember.
It was either Nationwide or Schottenstein. Probably
Schottenstein back then. Yeah. But
there was one time I went to. So I used to go to all of them. No, back then it was the Value City Arena.
Maybe.
Right?
Yeah.
No, it's Schottenstein. Value City is same
same
company.
thing.
Same
Yeah.
company. That's
Yeah.
right. I'm fucking up.
Yeah, same guy.
But no, I was there and I was probably like 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah.
And the night before, I'm making posters, to hold up in the audience. I was a huge WWF fan back
It's all about
in
the
day.
posters,
It was WWF. And I made like a bunch of like posters, and one side of one poster said, "Hey Reichert, we're not dealing."
Yeah.
And I underlined "not" and
Yeah.
like made it all sparkly and like all big.
It's
and
more
noticeable,
local,
right?
local dig.
Yeah. Well, because like we're dealing, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he was a huge sponsor of the WWF. Like, he was
okay.
always on local TV. He was
Sure.
always like it was always on there.
Okay.
So they come to the Schottenstein Center, and I have my 2 posters,
Yeah.
3 of which are just about wrestlers, 1 of which is about Reichert.
Okay.
And I have them under my armpit, and I'm waiting in line with my uncle and my brother and my cousin.
Yeah.
And my uncle goes into the bathroom, and I see this guy go into the bathroom, and then I wait in line for someone else to come out of the bathroom. I'm a little kid, so I'm like waiting in line.
Yeah.
And so I go back into the bathroom, and I just like notice that no one, like all the urinals are taken up.
Yeah.
And I stand back, and I notice my uncle's talking to fucking Fred Reichert. And on the outside of the poster, on the outside poster that's in between my fucking armpit is the one that says, "Hey Reichert, we're not dealing."
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh shit, my uncle knows Fred Reichert. So then the urinal next to my uncle opens up. I go up to that urinal and I start taking a piss, and I'm trying to shuffle these posters
Make sure he
around.
doesn't see it.
Well, and I hear the conversation. They fucking know each other.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I finish before them, so I go over, I wash my hands,
Yeah.
and then my uncle comes up and he introduces me to Fred Reichert while I have this poster in my head that says, "We're not dealing."
Yeah.
He looks down at it and he goes, "It's good to see you, Terry." Shakes my uncle's hand and just walks off.
Yeah.
He didn't have, and all he was like,
he's like, "Fuck you, man."
No, I think he thought he was like, good joke.
Yeah.
At least in my mind, he was like, oh, it's
I mean, no press is bad press, right?
Yeah. At the time, he's a mogul of the fucking industry, so it didn't matter. But
yeah, he was still gonna be successful.
I was also there when The Rock Bottom, Stone Cold Steve Austin with the chair in between the two of them.
I think I may have been
and that's
there.
when The
I
Rock
may have
became
been
a star. That's when he became the
in
star.
Columbus.
Yep.
I think I was.
You were there?
I think that was the one I went to.
Yeah, dude.
I remember it being a big deal. Yeah, man.
You and I, parallel places.
Yeah, we were up
all
high.
throughout life.
Yeah. Could have been sitting next to each other. We don't know. You know? Who
Your only
knows?
problem was you were way older than I was.
I was. Well, how old are you?
29.
Okay, yeah, I was a little older. 3 years is not way old.
Way fucking
I mean, I guess
older,
if I'm 10 and you're 7, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know how old you have to be to make that poster.
Also, if you're 18 and I'm...
15, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Don't worry, man. It wouldn't have happened.
We're way past that.
We're way past it.
Way
Yeah.
past it.
I was never tempted.
Yeah, no.
I would have been so tempted.
I had sex.
kidding.
I had sex with a woman when I was 19.
Yeah.
I was 39.
Really?
Yeah. And that
20
was
years.
like the craziest...
Was she married?
No. Divorced.
Divorce, yeah.
Yeah, with 3 kids.
Was it like a
Autistic
multiple thing, or was it like a one time?
kids. It was a one time, but multiple in one night.
Okay.
Which is also... Like, it was an obvious difference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you regret? Was that your first time?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
That'd be interesting.
I mean, it was close to it, but no,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
wasn't my first time.
Nice.
No, it was just strange. I mean, you ever been with... Because I've been with a few older ladies.
So probably the oldest one, and now wouldn't even be that old because they'd be younger than me. But when I was in college, maybe when I was like 20 or 21, I was with like a 27-year-old Asian woman. Which at the
Why'd
time
you gotta be Asian, bro?
she was. That was the only Asian woman I've been with. She was older. I remember I went over. She was wearing like a Mickey Mouse T-shirt. That's all I remember. But yeah, that was the older like at the time. But she was Asian, so she looked super young still. Like I didn't know when I met her. Like I wouldn't think she was 27 at the time. You know, but yeah, that's the only time I've ever been with an older woman. Everyone else has been younger.
Weird. Problematic. That's
Yeah.
problematic.
Is that bad? Is it better? You go with older? Probably.
I mean, it's definitely safer than younger.
Yeah, probably. Younger can get you in trouble.
That is bad. Shit. I want to get things back on the rails.
Yeah.
We only have just a
tad bit.
another tad bit left.
Yeah.
Like throughout you doing comedy and shit, we never really tackled this, but there was a point where like you and some other comedians like started recognizing me more, at least being like nicer to me or
Yeah.
talking to me more. Like, was there like what is that with like newer comics where you're like, is there like a barrier to break through?
There is a barrier to break through because you have to earn our respect. Like So you definitely. I don't remember when. So my first impressions were you was from Barrel. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh yeah.
I think I introduced you, and I said because your last name is Steak, but I think I said it like steak, like the
Meat steak
meat
instead
steak.
of the vampire steak.
Yeah, and you got really upset about it.
Of course.
Yeah, like way irrationally upset about it, and then you like immediately like bashed me on stage, and it did not go well for you after my set, which probably went well. And like it was just like, man, like it was just one of those guys who's like, man, like I didn't like you have definitely come a long way from that first impression. Like you definitely, because I like it was somebody where I couldn't envision at that point being funny. No offense to your original, but
Dude,
at that point,
really only
Yeah.
doing it gets you funny.
yeah. And you've come night and day. You've changed, and now I will pay attention, which is half the battle.
Well, yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So basically, it was just I came from a negative.
You don't,
space
yeah,
already.
like you don't like when you're new, you don't know like the etiquette. You don't know like talking to other comics. Like you were like, I feel like you felt it was more like you against the world type.
Yeah,
type feel versus.
I was always like overly drunk.
Yeah.
Where like drunk is normal.
Well,
but
that's why.
I was overly.
That's
drunk.
what you do when you're new. Is you're like, oh, I'm terrified of going on stage, so I'll get drunk, and then you're drunk and you act stupid.
Did you do the same thing?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
wasted. Terrible waste. Like.
And then you try to be like, well, I'm gonna do it just high then.
Yeah.
And then that's even worse somehow. Like at least for me, that's even
Yeah.
worse. Because then I like not only am I not funny, but also I can't even say words.
Yeah.
Like at least when I'm drunk, I have plenty of words to say.
Yeah, you're
but,
not gonna. Yeah, You're gonna say something at least.
Dude,
But
yeah, I used to burn like the first 6 months I did comedy, I burned
You did,
bridges.
yeah.
And
I
but
feel like Sean. I feel like you. Was there a point where he like kicked you out or something, or was that somebody else?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I stopped going there. I stopped going there mostly because I started like an old band reformed. We had band practice every night, but ever since they moved the Barrel open mic to earlier, I can now do both. So and ever since I've been going back, Sean put me up right after Jason Banks one night, which was I was just like, oh shit,
Yeah.
like
Stuff.
okay, like it is really tough, but it's also like there's obviously I'm doing something right if he thinks I can fulfill whatever that.
You can handle that because
Yeah.
that's not tough. I mean, that is tough.
That's super tough.
Yeah.
I mean that's hard as
He's
fuck.
the best.
to-
I think he's the best comedian in the city. Like Monday he went on Shrunken Head and he did the best. There was a guy who went right before me.
Oh, I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just continue the
Yeah,
story.
yeah. So the guy went right before me. He was on Conan twice, I guess. Like
Matt Broussard, right?
Yeah. He was on Conan. He has his own special. Like right before I was about to go on, I was talking to another comic. He's like, "Yeah, I just saw his Conan special," and he was doing okay. But honestly, I thought Jason Banks did better. I made a joke on Facebook that I followed Matt Broussard and I bombed hard because he was following a guy who was on Conan and has his own special, which really like I feel like my first couple jokes didn't do as good as they normally do. So for me, it felt like a bomb. But like honestly, I probably didn't do as bad as I said.
Thought you did.
Yeah. I felt like he left right afterwards. So like I remember going through some of the jokes and. If a joke didn't do well, I was like, "Oh, sorry guys, I wasn't on Conan," and that was just really funny. I kept
You just had to, put attention towards the fucking problem.
It was just weird. Like you don't see a guy at an open mic normally like that, and I was supposed to go after him, and for some reason Nick switched us, and we were just 9 and 10 of 30, so it was just kind of random that he switched me right before him, but I didn't know who he was until 30 seconds before I went on stage. I found out he was like a legit comedian.
So it just threw you into shock too.
Yeah, I was just like kind of overthinking it. And I had been on a kind of hot streak for about a week of really good sets. So,
Dude, one thing I've learned from comedy is the minute you think you're doing well,
Yeah, and then you're just like,
you're knocked
fuck.
right the fuck back.
yeah, I think like you get like in your head you think you're like like you can't be touched. Everything you're going to do is funny, and that really like made me realize I have a long way to go. Even though I feel like I'm light years of where I was when I started, following a guy who's like a legit comedian like makes me realize. I mean, if I would have done as good as I have in the past, I wouldn't have felt as bad. But like, it made me realize kind of how far I am away, like how much work I still have like to do. But I feel like when I have the crowd going though, like I feel like I can be up there with him and everybody else. But I don't know, it's all about timing. And I mean, I still it was just tough. He was just very, very good.
Also, that shock factor,
Yeah.
right? Like that's the whole thing is like
If I follow Jason Biggs, I know he's good, but like I didn't know who this guy was, and he's crushing. And then I found out
if he follows you,
he was just on Conan, like within the last couple months. Like he's newly, like I don't know why he was in town. He probably just looked it up, wanted to do a show. Like that'd be the
might
cool
have
part
been
of it.
featuring
Yeah.
for someone at
Yeah.
the Funny Bone or
Yeah.
something.
That'd be cool about like actually making it is like dropping in on random open mics and just doing. Like if he was bigger, he probably could have done more time. Like if he would have told Nick,
I've seen that before.
yeah, if he would have told Nick he was on Comedy Central, I bet Nick would have given him 10 or 15, but he didn't because Nick didn't even know till after he was off.
Well, there's also
Yeah.
probably like fucking 30
Yeah,
people.
like it's
saying
weird.
that.
Like I don't know if I got that big. If you're like, hey, I've been on Conan or I've been on Comedy Central, or if you would just be like, hey, I'm from New York.
It's not like
Yeah,
It was
because obviously he didn't tell. Yeah, it wasn't super packed. It could have been.
It's not like Johnny Carson where it's
Yeah.
like now you fucking made it. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's the difference. I honestly have heard from a couple comedians who've actually been on Conan that when you go on Conan, you get like 30 followers on Twitter. Like it's not like you think because you have this national television appearance. Oh, now you've made it. Where in the past that
To
was the
me,
case.
it would just be something to throw on a resume,
Oh, yeah.
not something to like
Yeah.
boost your real social media. Like
Yeah.
to me, it'd be like, oh, finally I can say I've done
Yeah.
the television. So maybe next time,
I think
Fallon, maybe
the
next time
bigger
Coleman or
I think the
whatever.
bigger thing would be
But
eventually.
even fuck all those.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather do. Like what Comedy Central did
Yeah.
in the month of January, where there were 4 hour specials. That
Yeah.
they did. That was tight.
that would be cool.
Ron
So
Funches and fucking
yeah, and I've seen I saw Funches last year, and he's
I
great.
love Ron Funches.
Yeah, I saw him at Woodlands, and it was awesome.
Woodlands. I
pack
wish
a lot
there
of
was
people
local
there.
comedy at Woodlands.
You can rent their room out, but it's expensive. Like they fit a lot of people in their room when you can fill it. Like I thought about
Like Kinane came through there. Kyle Kinane came.
yeah,
through
I
there.
saw him there too. Yeah, I saw those are the 2 shows I saw were Ron Funches and Kyle Kinane. And it's great. They probably do a couple shows like $20 a ticket. It's packed room. Like you can't do like if you do the Funny Bone, you can't do Woodlands. Like they have like a non-compete where you can if you're doing it, you can't do it within.
Funny Bone just booked a tell.
Yeah, yeah.
I went. And
I saw a
delivered some
tell
beer
too
there,
when I was in
and-
college.
Really?
Yeah. College, like at OSU, there's always these free comics. I saw a lot of them for free. And
He used to do colleges.
yeah, he
I
did
guess
OSU.
that back then it would have made.
got free- so-
75 years ago.
So we got tickets, and that. So we won tickets to the front row. We went to Gabriel Iglesias, and my roommate at the time won tickets to David Tell front row. So he took me. He had one too. And then like I remember David Tell like used us in his act. Like he was talking to us. He asked if we were roommates. He was like, "Does one of you do like the dishes?" And the other one does this. I forget what he said exactly, but like he used us in his act. I thought that was like really cool. Like I felt like I was involved.
You pre-cummed.
Yeah,
You definitely
yeah. It was
pre-cummed.
cool. It was cool to be like involved in the show and like he crushed. But I saw so many great comedians. That also was a reason why I wanted to do comedy. Is I saw a lot of really good comedians live. And that was huge. I saw Dimitri Martin at OSU, Doug Benson, Iglesias, David Tell, Flight of the Conchords came. Will Ferrell came with. Reggie Watts and there's so many like other comedians I can't even think of.
And you saw
all of them
acts.
live for free.
Yeah.
Just for going to OSU.
See, the only comedy show I've ever been to is the most recent Joe Rogan with Tony Hinchcliffe,
Yeah.
and that was it. And I left because I can't
Yeah.
do arenas.
The only arena show I went to was Daniel Tosh on 420. and I went with Ty Moore was there. Me, Ty Moore, Garrett didn't go. I went with two other friends. We got wasted. Not one weed joke. All the comedians on 420, which I thought was interesting. I thought there'd be a few weed jokes. Just because it's 420.
They might have just challenged themselves.
Yeah,
Hey, no weed jokes.
Yeah,
today.
it's 420. Yeah, but they all crushed.
Knowing how fucking
Todd
great
Glass,
of writers those people are.
Yeah,
Todd Glass was
there.
Dude.
He crushed. Daniel Tosh. I love so honestly, one of the reasons I got into comedy was watching Daniel Tosh's special, Completely Serious, is because he just would talk about anything and make it funny. And
so let's talk about this.
Yeah.
So this is about the time when you first started doing.
when I first
right?
when I first wanted to do comedy, I was.
How old were you when you first wanted to do it?
I probably freshman year of college, watching in the summer when I was at my house at home, just watching Comedy Central.
Had you watched specials?
Yeah, I watched
growing
specials
up,
before, but
and you never really thought about it, doing it as a thing.
Not until honestly I saw that special, and he would talk about anything he wanted, and it was just there's no rules, that. The fact that there's no rules, just I always loved making people laugh. When I was a kid, saying when I would get the whole room to laugh, that was the best thing ever. So that's what really made me want to do comedy. The biggest thing was I did a joke in one of my classes freshman year. I threw in a couple jokes and it crushed for 20 people, and you felt that laughter. You felt that I didn't even mean for it to crush, but I remember wanting to throw these jokes in, and when it was just delivered, they weren't expecting there to be jokes, or I don't know, but I got the most genuine laugh of the entire room, and you get addicted to that. That feeling that you made them all forget about whatever.
Did you play sports growing up?
Yeah. I almost kicked for Ohio State football. I have a 55-yarder on YouTube when I had to make a video for them. So I joke about how
someone please make a parody video of that.
No, it's on YouTube. Columbus Destroyers actually have open tryouts soon. I thought about going, but I'm 32. I joked about because kickers kicked Adam Vinatieri is about to be 44 and kicking, so I could still have
It's one of the best careers.
I could still have a 10-year career in the NFL I had to make,
Yeah.
But I got beat out in college by a guy who was 7 years older than me from South Africa. That's a whole nother story.
It's someone that was just way better of a kicker.
He wasn't that way better. He had 5 yards on me, maybe on kickoffs. That's all
That'll
close.
do it.
Yeah. And he never kicked off for OSU. So I was 19. He was 27. He used to play professional rugby at South Africa and just moved.
He's a tough motherfucker.
Yeah, and then they asked me to try again the next year, and I did. And then they just signed a really good guy who ended up only punting for OSU named Ben Buchanan. But so it's basically I got cut twice from OSU and didn't want to transfer. It's just too competitive. If I couldn't make a college team, I wasn't going to make the pros. So played that, and I played lacrosse. That was and still play soccer,
Keep beating yourself
Yeah,
up.
yeah. That was so honestly, getting cut from OSU from field goals was my welcome to the real world moment. Life's a bit competitive, and not everything's going to go your way.
Did you have kind of a pretty nice upbringing?
I had nice
family was good.
Family's good.
No divorce or anything. Fucked up.
Both my parents were previously married. My mom had 2 kids and got divorced. So my dad married my mom with 2 kids, then had me and my twin sister. But they're still together. Grew up in Dublin, which is a really nice suburb, really good schools. I was really good at kicking. I thought my dream was just to go to college, go play at Ohio State, then make the pro.
The Ohio fucking dream.
Yeah, that's
Straight
honestly,
up.
I went to kicking camps. I was always the best.
That's the dream my dad wanted for me, but for golf instead of kicking.
That's
but
the dream.
It was he moved. He specifically moved our family here to raise hey, I want my kid to be a upper middle class or middle upper class whatever golfer and just start making money.
Yeah.
It's just wait, hold on. What if I get into skateboarding and drugs?
Yeah.
What about that?
Yeah.
But it's
It's just tough. It's just competitive.
But here's the thing, though. Comedy is horribly competitive.
But comedy, there's no like. So if NFL football for kicking, there's 32 jobs. There'll always be 32 jobs. There's no backups. Like, sure, there's AFL and there's going to be XFL and arena football, but whatever. Like,
Does that
there's
still
only
exist?
Yeah, there's 2 new leagues that just started.
Oh, shit.
XFL's
I thought
coming
that
back.
got bankrupt.
It
or
was,
whatever.
but it's come back.
Oh, nice.
So
Nice. Vince McMahon's still on it?
I don't know if he's still on it or not, but they're bringing it back. But comedy, there's no set amount of jobs. So, like, obviously it's hard to break through. But, like, I think Steve Martin said it best, where eventually if you're funny enough, like, they won't be able to ignore you, you know?
That is a really good point.
So,
I think Dave Chappelle is
Yeah.
a perfect example of that.
and there's a lot of comedians who don't make it till their 40s. Like, I'm 32. Like,
Some people don't even start till their 40s.
yeah. And
I feel bad for starting at 27.
I think Louis C.K. didn't really get famous till his 40s, which, not saying I will or won't get famous, but, like, I'm still feel like I'm young for a comedian. So
Well, we started off the conversation talking
Yeah.
about how you think you found your voice, but you're still learning. And
it could still morph, you know.
this might be a nice way to wrap it up
Yeah.
because I feel like I'm starting to realize what I want to talk about
Yeah,
as opposed to like just writing jokes about whatever the fuck comes to my mind.
yeah,
Now I'm starting to like find things and then making jokes out of those things.
yeah. Yeah, I think I want to, like, ideally, I think I want to be able to just talk about my life and to be funny. And just, like, the people know me and, you know, but I also love stupid short jokes, and because you can get to the next joke, and because it's harder to be funny when you're telling stories because you got to have punches in between, and it's got to be interesting the whole way.
You have a very interesting combination of like a Mitch Hedberg one-liner, but with like a Hannibal Buress sort of like, you know, abstract, just like what absurd, whatever the
Yeah.
fuck just comes to like kind of stonerish thought.
Yeah.
Whether it's stonerish or not, just like absurd.
Yeah.
But what, like, does that come from like who are your favorite comics growing like, or at least
I
who
love
you look at like?
I love Mike Birbiglia, but he's more stories. I like Tosh. Like I said before.
When we first met, I
Nick
always called you
Swartzen.
Mike Birbiglia.
Yeah, 'cause I look
I mean,
like
you
him.
do look like
Yeah,
him.
yeah, I
You
get
do
that a
really
lot.
look like
I
him.
get that a lot.
But he's a storyteller, and that's
He
like
is.
completely opposite
Yeah,
of your
Nick
comedy.
Swartzen. I liked him.
I love Nick Swartzen.
Like Nick Swartzen.
Have you seen his newest special?
Yeah, I saw him live at OSU too. Yeah, I don't. When's his last new special?
It was Comedians of the World
Oh, I didn't see
on
that.
Netflix.
Did it just come out?
It came out in January.
Yeah,
Him and
so
Chris
I'm-
D'Elia.
Oh, I need to see that then. Shit.
Neil Brennan.
Yeah.
And then fuck, I forget. There's a lady on it.
Yeah,
I can't.
I got something to do now. But yeah,
But so that's pretty interesting though. That you want to introduce more of your life, but you kind of still come from these kind of goofy aspects.
yeah. It's like,
know?
do you want to like? There's some comedians who always leave their personal out of it, which is fine. And there's comedians who talk about their life, and it's hilarious. Like, so I'm trying to blend the two. It's just tough to like. It just depends where you're at. Sometimes you get 5 minutes, and you only gotta get to jokes. You know, if you get a spot where you get to do 10 or 15 or 20, maybe you can do a combination of the two.
Do you ever take the time with the 5 minutes to just set it up for one joke?
So even if I'm doing one joke, you're obviously
You have tags.
you have tags.
Yeah.
So I'm trying more of those out.
It's hard to do, but that's like the next step.
Because it's like I already know the jokes. Like if I'm just doing stupid short jokes, I already know most of those jokes already work. So I need to like focus more of doing newer stuff and not caring, just being more explorative.
So when you get to a room and it's like full, like so Shrunken Head, like
Yeah.
it's full of kids that most of these people I never recognize. It's always like a kind of a random group, aside from
Yeah.
the comics.
Yeah,
Whoever's
the
sitting
crowd.
Yeah, the audience. Do you ever feel obligated to where it's like, oh, I have
Sometimes
to
you
do
feel like
my shit?
yeah. Sometimes if it's a really full crowd, you feel both. You want to do jokes that are good for them, and you want to feel. You know you're gonna feel good because if you crush, because you know those jokes are you'll feel better when you crush. Versus
Also, it
sometimes,
makes the host happy and the room happy
Yeah.
and the next comic happy.
yeah.
It's kind of like when do I take the chance?
Yeah, but
When
also
do
I hate
do
doing
it?
newer jokes for like no comedians because you don't know if it does well or not. So sometimes I like doing new jokes for bigger crowds because that's where you'll know real fast if it's sink or swim, and if it's.
If it's all comedians, that's when I go all new jokes.
Oh yeah.
It's like fuck it. Like you guys have already seen my set. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. So it's. I don't know. I honestly don't really think too much about what I'm going to say anymore until I'm like 10 or 15 minutes before my set, which is probably bad. But
You don't keep a notebook or
I do. I keep notes. Anything I write down on my phone, and I use Evernote. But I don't like sometimes I'll know it. Like I want to test these couple jokes out, but like most of the time I don't know the order or exactly. So sometimes I'll plan on doing something and I don't end up doing it. So. I mostly just wing it unless it's like a book show now, but
How many shows? I mean, have you been booked? Do you have any shows coming up? This is a good time.
I'm doing I'm doing Quizbox in April.
Hell yeah, Quizbox is a podcast too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, not 100% confirmed, but they said I was at the show on Friday. They said
They're gonna have to be now.
yeah, it's on.
The influence that this podcast
Yeah.
has, they're gonna
Yeah.
have to book you now.
Yeah. They said I'll be there in April, so that's a really good show. I've been seeing it a couple times.
Oh yeah.
I'll be doing a Dolphin Lounge eventually, but I don't know the dates. I got booked for a future show on that, but mostly just local open mics in Columbus, and we'll see.
Cool, man. Do you have any Instagram or?
Yeah, just at Gary Sheriff on Instagram, at Gary Sheriff on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook, whatever. You can see me live at all the open mics.
All the open mics. You go into Funny Bone on Wednesday?
So the thing about Wednesdays is I got my daughter now until 8, so I really can't do the Funny Bone. Can't really do the contest.
Or
anymore.
just
Like I was doing guest sets before. I need to get back in. I may get another audition this year, but those were Thursdays and Sundays. But Wednesdays I just have my daughter like every Wednesday, so I can't. I may
you
not
always leave her in the car.
yeah. I'm a good father. I don't want my daughter to be dead when I give her back to the mom. So yeah, keep her alive. But yeah, so it's important. Like I could try to switch it or try to get that time off, but honestly, like I've done the contest, I've gone to the finals. It's cool, but I was already getting guest sets, so I feel like I don't need to do the contest again. Open mics, you have to bring people pretty much to get on. Half the time I went to the open mic, you don't get on because it's a bringer show and you have so many people to show up to that. So,
Yeah, I did the just whatever the first round. I was 3 months into comedy.
Yeah.
And didn't move on. And,
Yeah.
and then last year I got into semifinals and I was like, well,
Yeah.
seems like the progression is there.
Moved on one round, the confidence you get is a lot still. Like when I first moved on. So
Also, it's cool to play to that room. I mean,
Yeah.
it does feel really good to play to that room.
Dude,
it's
yeah.
a comedy club.
that's what really, when you get to play the room, that's what's really like makes it worth it. I remember the first time I did the contest that I moved on, my parents were in the crowd. And my mom, after the show, started crying. I was just like, why are you crying? And I totally forgot about this, but when I was a kid, I used to stutter really bad. Like, I could barely say a sentence without stuttering. And, like, I was over it by, like, 4th grade or 5th grade, But, like, my mom obviously remembers it a lot. But, like, she was like, you don't understand. Like, you used to, like, barely be able to talk. And now you're, like, moving on in comedy competition. So, like... that was really cool to like see my impact on her,
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Like I totally forgot about that. Like it was a part of me I forgot about like how hard it was to talk, but I just took it for granted because it's been so long since I struggled with doing that. But
I also had a speech impediment growing up, and then Brandon also had one. Mm-hmm. And here we are, all like going up every night, talking in front of people.
Yeah,
it's actually really helped me a lot. Just the more you do it, the more you exercise that muscle, the better off you are.
Yeah. So.
But no, that's I'm actually tearing up a little bit right now. This is kind of fucked
It
up.
is it's a good story. Like honestly, when my mom told me that, I was like, she teared up, I teared up. Like it was a beautiful moment to realize like how far I came, like to overcome, like just being able to talk and like not only just talk, but in front of like a couple hundred people, and then being
And not only just talk, but make them engage.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, when you give a speech,
yeah,
you don't know if people are engaged.
yeah.
But when you make a joke, you know they are
Yeah,
laugh or
yeah,
clap,
you get the-
right.
you
You
get-
get that immediate response
Yeah.
is so fucking toxic
Yeah.
and so beautiful and
Yeah.
by toxic I mean intoxicating.
Yeah, it's insane. It's honestly
you
anybody who
high.
doesn't do comedy, there's nothing like it. Sex will never touch it.
Even music, coming from music,
Yeah.
like when you're playing music, you don't get the same back and forth.
Yeah, like
It's not as
yeah,
it's not as real. It's like when I'm making an audience laugh,
yeah.
I feel something coming from them.
You have to be more in the moment versus music. Like you could be in just like you do the same shit every day, but it's a song everybody knows, so it's whatever. But like comedy, you always have to be. You can't fake it. You know, you can't play through the motions.
And you need someone else on the receiving end. I
Yeah.
think it was I was listening to Ari Shaffir
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Whiskey Ginger with Andrew Santino, the
Sure,
podcast,
yeah.
and he said like one of the best quotes he heard about comedy was that like a room, you know, can fill or music can fill up a room by itself,
Yeah,
but comedy, like you need reciprocation.
yeah.
And that makes a lot of sense. Coming from both worlds, it does make a lot of sense. Like I can play music by myself,
But no
and
one's like
just feel it.
laughing or like music when it's really good. Like people are listening, they're not laughing. Like it's different. Like
Well, I can play music by myself. I can play guitar by myself.
yeah,
And the room will fill up with the sounds, and I'll feel good. But I can't do that with my. I've
No.
never practiced my jokes in front of a mirror or
No.
in the shower or any. It doesn't work that way.
No.
Like I maybe done it like one or two times walking
Yeah.
to the comedy club just to get the words out of my
Yeah.
mouth, but it not.
sometimes in the car I would do it. Like I would say my jokes if it was something I was like wanting to get.
Especially if it's
Perfect.
wordy, you just
Yeah.
kind of have to keep going through it just to
Yeah.
get the ideas out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Well, Gary, I fucking love you so much. I
Yeah, man.
appreciate you for coming
Love you
by.
too, man. I appreciate it, man. It was great.
Hell yeah. Anything
Good time.
else you want to plug? Anything else?
No, man, just keep supporting live comedy. You know, hopefully everyone here in Columbus makes a name for themselves. You know, but you know, just keep going to comedy, keep laughing. If you're a comedian, keep going. Love what you do, and trying to just take one day at a time. You know, it's tough for everybody. Everyone's going through shit. Just keep going. Just do what you love, and whatever happens. You know.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful way to
Yeah,
end it.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks so
Gary.
much.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. It's a good time.